Hi, it's Courtney Hadwin and I was a finalist on season 13 of America's Got Talent.
Let me tell you something, Courtney. Something has changed in you. Trust me, in the time you...
Courtney Hadwin stunned the world with her electrifying performances, but behind the fame lies a heartbreaking truth. Whispers of struggles, crushing pressure, and industry betrayals have surrounded the young star. What really happened to Courtney after AGT? The truth might be even sadder than you think. Let's break it all down. Courtney Hadwin was never the loudest person in the room, until she sang. Born in Hartlepool, England, she was a quiet, reserved child who barely spoke to strangers. But there was something different about her. While other kids played sports or watched cartoons, Courtney was drawn to music from a young age. Her parents, Anne-Marie and Paul Hadwin, noticed early on that she had a gift. She didn't just sing, she felt the music. Inspired by legends like Janis Joplin, James Brown, and Little Richard, Courtney didn't sound like a typical pop star. Her voice was raw, powerful, and full of soul. Determined to follow her passion, she started taking music lessons and training at the Shotton Hall Theatre School. She performed locally, but something was holding her back, her shyness. While her voice was bold, stepping in front of a crowd was terrifying.
Yeah, it is natural. It's just like I turn into a different person.
That fear didn't stop her, though. In 2015, she took a huge step by entering Newcastle's Teen Star competition. She didn't win, but her emotional performance of Bob Dylan's Make You Feel My Love left people stunned. Little did she know, this was just the beginning of a journey filled with both triumph and heartbreak. Courtney took a bigger leap in 2017 when she auditioned for The Voice Kids UK. For the first time, she was stepping onto a national platform. Her choice of song, Nutbush City Limits by Tina Turner. When the music started, something incredible happened. Her shy demeanor disappeared. Courtney transformed into a powerhouse performer, leaving the judges in shock. McFly's Danny Jones turned his chair and mentored her through the competition. She made it to the finals, impressing audiences with I Got You, I Feel Good by James Brown.
Just amazing to be able to perform in front of this many people and for this many.
But despite her undeniable talent, she didn't win. Some critics didn't understand her style, calling it too intense or too old-fashioned. Even some classmates at school didn't get it, mocking her performances. Courtney tried to ignore the negativity, but it wasn't easy. She was just a young girl trying to follow her dreams, yet the world was already forming strong opinions about her. The heartbreak of losing. The Voice Kids UK was tough, but she didn't let it stop her. Little did she know, an even bigger opportunity was on the horizon, one that would change her life forever. In 2018, Courtney auditioned for America's Got Talent, and the world finally saw what she was capable of. Standing nervously in front of Simon Cowell and the other judges, she barely spoke, but when the music started, everything changed. Her performance of Hard to Handle by Otis Redding was nothing short of electrifying.
Artist.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't like listening back to myself. I don't know why.
When you listen...
She moved like a rock legend. Her raspy voice filled the room, and the audience went wild. Judge Howie Mandel was so impressed that he hit the golden buzzer, sending her straight to the live shows. Overnight, Courtney became a global sensation. Millions watched her audition online, and celebrities praised her talent. But with fame came an overwhelming amount of pressure. Her quarterfinal performance, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, was met with a standing ovation. Simon Cowell himself called her a lioness on stage. But some people online weren't as supportive. Critics called her style too wild, while others dismissed her as a shouter rather than a singer. As the competition continued, the pressure intensified. Courtney had never experienced fame on this level before, and the expectations were starting to feel impossible. Was it all becoming too much? Despite her incredible performances, Courtney didn't win America's Got Talent.
I got the feeling that maybe I should change and listen to everybody, but then...
The title went to magician Shin Lim, but that didn't mean the world had forgotten about her. She was invited to perform in Las Vegas alongside Shin Lim, proving that she was still a star in the making. Soon after, she signed a record deal with Simon Cowell's Psycho Entertainment and Arista Records. It seemed like everything was falling into place. But behind the scenes, things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Insiders claim the industry didn't know what to do with her. Courtney wasn't a typical pop star. Her voice and style were unique, and record executives allegedly struggled to market her. Some sources say she was pressured to fit into a more mainstream sound, but that wasn't who she was. Then, in 2020, Psycho Entertainment shut down. Just like that, her record deal was gone. Courtney found herself at a crossroads. Would she try to fit into the industry's expectations or forge her own path? Instead of giving up, she made a bold choice.
I remembered that people like Janis Joplin, they didn't listen to anybody.
She decided to go independent. But could she survive in an industry that had already tried to change her? Going independent wasn't easy. Courtney had to rebuild everything from scratch, and the pressure was overwhelming. Social media, which once celebrated her, became a place where harsh criticism lived. Some fans supported her, but others wondered why she wasn't releasing hit songs like other AGT stars. Rumors started spreading that she was struggling behind the scenes. Some believed she had stepped back from the industry entirely. Despite the challenges, Courtney kept pushing forward. She focused on writing her own songs, drawing from her personal struggles. Music had always been her escape, and now it became her therapy. But the industry's silence was loud. Without a major label backing her, the opportunities that once seemed endless began to fade. Was the world moving on without her? Even so, she refused to let the setbacks define her.
And they got what they wanted in the end.
Courtney Hadwin wasn't just another contestant from America's Got Talent, she was a true artist. But would the world ever see that again? In 2019, Courtney released her first EP, The Cover Sessions. Instead of trying to fit into the mainstream, she reimagined popular songs in her own unique way. Covers like Sign of the Times and Someone You Loved showcased her raw, emotional voice. While fans loved it, industry executives didn't seem to take notice. And then, in 2020, her record deal was gone. She was on her own. Instead of giving up, she started releasing her own original music. Songs like Monsters and Breakable were deeply personal, showing a side of Courtney that fans hadn't seen before. But without major label support, these songs didn't get the exposure they deserved. She began using social media to connect with fans, building her following on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Slowly but surely, she was reclaiming her place in the industry. But was it too late?
Before I actually released my first single,
Courtney Hadwin's story remains one of the most debated among music fans. Was she another young star who got lost in the industry's demands? Or is she just taking her time to craft something truly special? Despite the challenges she faced, Courtney never stopped making music. While major labels moved on to the next big thing, she focused on refining her sound. Without the marketing power of a record deal, she took full control of her career, an incredibly bold move for someone so young. Instead of relying on industry executives to shape her path, Courtney turned to social media. Platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram became her new stage. She began sharing stripped-down performances, covers, and sneak peeks of her original music. Fans quickly noticed that her voice was still as powerful as ever, and her connection with them became more personal.
Heaven, which has been the last 3 songs, Breakable, Coming Back, and I Don't Live Here.
Her YouTube channel, which boasts over 600,000 subscribers, became a place where she could perform on her own terms. Videos of her singing live gained millions of views, proving that people were still invested in her journey. But even with a strong fan base, she wasn't making the same headlines she once did. Many America's Got Talent winners and finalists go on to sign major deals and release albums within a year. For Courtney, the road was much slower. Some fans wondered if she had been forgotten by the industry, while others believed she was intentionally staying away from the mainstream. But was this a setback or a strategic move? In interviews, Courtney has hinted that she's taking her time to create music that truly represents who she is. She doesn't want to be boxed into a category that doesn't fit her unique style. Unlike many artists who feel pressured to release generic pop songs just to stay relevant, Courtney seems determined to do things her way. That independence comes at a cost. Without label-backed promotion, her music doesn't reach as many people. Without radio play and high-budget music videos, new fans are harder to attract. But Courtney has something many mainstream artists don't: raw authenticity. Her ability to connect emotionally through music is something that can't be manufactured, and her fans recognize that. Whenever she releases a new song, her comment sections fill with people praising her unique sound and storytelling. What do you think? Will Courtney Hadwin make a legendary comeback, or is she content with a quieter career outside of the mainstream? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to check out our next video for more surprising stories.